The Iranian regime leaders are getting desperate as they seem to be losing the uprising to pro-freedom Iranians. So they've gone to Venezuela to ask for asylum. Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the first video of the day, of the evening. We're going to be coming to you guys every half an hour with a number of videos. First things first, let's talk about freedom. Let's talk about what's going on in Iran, because whatever happens will have an effect and a massive impact directly in the West, and the Iranians. We're going to be discussing what actually is happening overall anyway, but they don't seem to be losing their energy. They've lost their fear, so they can't be crushed. And now we are hearing that the Iranian officials, obviously, this is not really a big surprise, they've asked Venezuela for asylum in case of regime change. Now, amid this escalation of anti-regime protests, or as I would call it, uprising, 4 high-ranking Iranian officials have visited Venezuela. This was a couple of months ago in mid-October, to ensure that their commie friends would grant asylum to top regime officials and their families and let them enter the country should the unfortunate incident happen. This is quite fascinating because it's not really a big surprise that Venezuela and Iran are friends. It's the same with Cuba, same with North Korea and Russia. And now what we are seeing a bit of a change in the narrative of the Iranian regime, the Islamic Republic, because they've got the foreign backing. Of course, the people in Iran don't have any foreign backing, and this is why it's taking some time. Now, what we are seeing is actually the division inside, at the top of the regime, is crazy. The supreme leader's own niece and other family members have been calling for him to essentially leave and give up power. So he decided to sentence his own niece to 15 years in prison because, of course, she called her own uncle a bit of a murderous psycho. Now, everything's been happening is still quite chaotic because the regime, because they're desperate, they have escalated their efforts to attempt to crush this uprising. For example, they are executing the protesters, the political prisoners are losing their lives every single day. Yesterday we had Mohsen Shakari, who is just a simple innocent Iranian who was on the streets blocking the roads and chanting with his friends, and he got arrested a while ago, and now he's lost his life. And this is the footage that we have, unfortunately, of his mother and his family when they found out the news. The absolutely heartbreaking scenes that we are seeing on a regular basis from Iran, and but every single time they take someone's life, people come out and they get bigger and bigger and bigger. And this is still the women's revolution in Iran. Even Time magazine called them the heroes of the year, the women of Iran fighting for freedom. Now, for those who ask, why is it taking ages? Why is it so difficult for this revolution to actually happen? Well, it's simple, because the Iranians have been very vocal and open about the fact that they don't want any foreign intervention. They don't want Western powers or anybody, Eastern powers, to get involved and liberate them. They said this is our fight. They simply want us in the West, for example, to be their voice, and they want the media to cover what's going on so the world can see what's going on. But in reality, considering that there's no appetite from the Western globalists to actually do anything about this, mainly because, and for those who know, in 1979, when they had they called it a revolution, but in reality it was a coup that happened with the help of CIA and France and a bit of MI6 here, because they realized the Shah of Iran is no longer a puppet. He is simply an equal, independent partner, an ally. But they couldn't control him. And when they realized, well, this could be his last few days, so let's basically allow the Ayatollahs to enter and let's embrace them. The CIA even trained the Ayatollahs in France, but then that kind of backfired because they wanted to control them in order to prevent the Soviet Union, in order to kind of stop them from controlling the new regime in Iran. But that backfired because the next day they went on the streets and chanted "Death to America." So that plot didn't really work. But even now there is no appetite. You know why? It's simple. Because there is no reason to actually do a bit of a gamble and risk and see a regime change when you don't know what's going to happen next. So the Western globalists will prefer to have a weak enemy in Iran, like what we've had for the last 43 years. A regime that's not really powerful, it's very loud, it bluffs a lot, but it's not really going to destroy you. And that helps them because then they can actually have Saudi as the main ally, and Saudi could be dominating the oil industry, and Qatar could dominate the gas industry, and of course the UAE, the sneaky kids in the Middle East, they are buying the Iranian oil and they are selling them via third party to the West. So you thought that we put sanctions in Iran, that we're not buying their oil. Well, we are buying it through UAE and Dubai. So that's still happening, and there's no appetite for the globalists to lose control of the region. And they are afraid of what could happen again because the Shah of Iran became a close ally with Israel. And of course, the British establishment and the West were closer to the Arab world because of money and oil. And they didn't like the fact that Iran and Israel could be strong allies in the region. And this could happen once again. Now, it's going to be a massive battle over the next few weeks and months with what's going on in Iran, because they will have a direct impact when it comes to the Western world as well. This is a good libertarian revolution. They've already pre-written the constitution. It's essentially like the American constitution without the Second Amendment, and they already have a united cause. They have the National Council of Iran, which is basically merged all the opposition groups and is led by the Crown Prince of Iran in exile. And the plan is to essentially get them to come in, have a referendum, and vote whether for constitutional monarchy or constitutional republic, which will be more likely to happen, which is the same thing essentially, but you're just electing the king, which is called president. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section, because of course there's the massive propaganda coming from the Iranian regime side saying, well, this is America and Britain causing trouble on the streets. Really? So you say that out loud, but behind closed doors you're making deals with Joe Biden and the WF and all the other nutters. And some people are falling for this lie, of course, as usual. But let me know your thoughts in the comment section. We're going to take a quick break. I'll come back in half an hour. I'm Tousi, and we are the media.